Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's Failrace episode with BUMPYD on GTA 5. Now, this was during one of the relatively recent go-kart tracks we were racing around. Now, these things were difficult to drive and they could have some funky collisions. For BUMPY, well, it was the front flip space journey. The go-kart got. Bump drafting was difficult with these. They kind of climbed over each other, but you don't normally go and do a massive sort of front flip and twist through the air. Up next, we're on to Horizon 5 with a stuck buggy. Their friend goes to try and help them out, and now we have two stuck vehicles. Yeah, it turns out rock crawling is a little bit dangerous, and sometimes you can get yourself wedged in weird places. I mean, quite physics-defying places. The Ford is... That's not how any of the physics work. The thing is, while, you know, it looks rather dumb and hasn't really gone quite as planned, the Ford landing there has twisted the buggy enough that it has actually got free. So, I mean, it kind of worked. It was an unconventional way of freeing a vehicle, but it did kind of work. We're staying with Horizon 5. Now, this, everyone's racing towards the next round of a championship. There's a kind of like, I can't remember what they call it, like free roam rush sort of thing. The first person to get there hits the rocks, has to go around it, but gets to the road and kind of takes victory. They're waiting for everybody else to finish. But these particular rocks, you can't really see them as you approach, would catch everybody out. There's one flip and a two flip, and another car is coming in with too much speed and a backflip for them. Everybody had trouble on those rocks. Tyler up next on Horizon 5 with a blast towards a finish line, and everyone having some issues on the final corner. The Veneno getting incredibly lucky and just making it across the bridge and making it to the finish line. Still somehow managing to cross the line in second, I think, in that one. King Cobra up next on Dirt Rally 2. Now, we've had all sorts of rolls and near misses and land on the wheels and carry on for this. Fulvia, things would go a little bit wrong. Too much speed, can't get the car turned in. Somehow manages to bounce its way across the grass between all the posts, all the trees. No damage as it lands back on the road. That does not normally go that well. We're on to Need for Speed 2015 up next with, well, things go a little bit wrong for the Subaru initially. Slightly wrong angle for the corner, makes a mess of it, hits the wall and crashes. Fair enough, that happens sometimes in any racing game. The AI then make a mess of everything else as they get respawned. Somehow all the AI have got stuck in this one section. Literally the entire field has got stuck in that one section. Cars have fallen over and yeah, well done everyone. In front of the Fox is up next on CarX Drift Racing with their Viper heading down towards, I presume, a first corner here, but they get it wrong. It's too much speed for the Viper into this first section and finds a lamppost. Problem is, lamppost works its way into the car, and now we're not moving. Now there is no movement from the Viper. It's very, very stuck. That's, yeah, not going to help. Not what you want for your drift run to have managed to impale your car on the lamppost over there. We're on to a Need for Speed Prostreet up next with a Rabbit Gaming finding an AI vehicle to create a ramp for them. I mean, these high-speed races were dangerous enough as it is, let alone when an AI car loses control, spins across in front of you, got nowhere to go, and just launches the player vehicle up into the air and flips through the air, and it's all gone. Yet not very well. Not very well at all on that one. Yeah, I seem to remember many a crash on those. We are still with some high-speed stuff. Douglas up next on Beam NG Drive is blasting around in a very powerful estate car when things go a little bit wrong here as well. It's bouncing around when it hits the bridge, loses control. It's tumbling. It's a huge crash for the car. Hits the trees, gets twisted around, turned about, bounces off a wall, and then manages to park perfectly in a parking space. Nicely done. Nicely done. Couldn't do that one better if you tried. ZBS is up next on R Factor, driving around the classic Monaco circuit when they carry a bit too much speed into the chicane, and we're off into the marina. That's not what you're supposed to do, that particular section. Speaking of not how Formula 1 cars are supposed to go, Gordon Fan on F1 2021 is heading to the pit lane when the AI just doesn't know what to do. I think this car had a broken front wing, which is why it was coming into the pits. So possibly the combination of rain and the broken front wing was giving the AI some trouble. I mean, he's having real trouble now. It's not just it turned in a bit too soon trying to get in here. It's just doesn't know what to do. Actually took his wheel off as well. Oh, the pit lane. Mike is up next on Ultima Blister 2 with more AI-based problems here. This time, though, the Ultima is in a hurry. It gets into the back of the BMW and puts the BMW around. The thing is, I think the AI gets confused whether it wants to go into the pit lane or whether it wants to carry on the main circuit. It doesn't quite know what's supposed to happen because it's been spun and is at an awkward angle. And that just leads to it being very confused in a rather dangerous place. It slowly slides its way down. When it eventually gets to the bottom, it starts doing this weird little, do I turn around? Do I try and rejoin the circuit? We're just going to go bump the wall a little bit. We're going to continue to not know what way to set the car up. It then reverts to bumping into the wall. It sort of scrapes its way around. It almost gets free. Almost gets free of the pit lane, doesn't. Reverses back up. Somebody else has managed to have a similar accident. I don't know what happened to the Mercedes to have caused it to end up there. We don't see that one. The BMW does finally, though, figure out where it's going. It's on the grass around the final corner, but it's progress. It's been released. It's back into the wild. And there is an Ultima. I don't think that was the one that spun it, but that was a lot of effort. That was a lot of effort. And finally, Nova Crush on Watch Dogs 2 has a mission where they have to try and hack into a truck. That's kind of armoured car over there. Okay, sure, fair enough. That is a relatively normal mission. Now, it's already having a little bit of a weird moment in that the player's just turned up here and it's turned around. So it's coming along. It's for whatever reason has just turned around and is wanting to go the wrong way down. Well, kind of wants to go the wrong way down this motorway. The player's not even started doing anything yet, and the vehicle's spinning around, is all sorts of freaked out. Okay, this is a little bit of a problem, but as long as you're close enough to it, it doesn't really matter. I'm not quite sure why the player decides to get out of the car. I thought car would have been more useful. In the end, it's all academic. The armoured car, figuring it's being hacked, decided the best way to deal with this is jump off the bridge, and in doing so, makes the mission impossible to complete. So, I love it. Like, that is just the ultimate screw you from the armoured truck there. Just, nope, you're not going to have whatever's in here. We're going to destroy it. Nobody can have it. And then I guess you're going to have to restart the mission. God, you got to love the AI when they do wacky things like that. But there we go. That is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google Forms. There shall be a link to it in the description. All the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.